Welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. Number 9.
And this is The Fool.
This is where me and The Fool give our
Unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
or something like that.
Hello everyone, this is our season finale. What?
Yeah.
We're gonna look at all the highlights and the lowlights of the year
Yeah.
that we covered this season. We had the Olympics, remember? The Olympics in Paris?
Yeah, that was in the last 12 months, yeah.
It was within the last 12 months.
Yeah.
We did review a few highlights in the Olympics in our Olympic episode, but I think I will shout, like, one of the obvious... Is it a highlight or a low light? Ray gun?
Both?
Both? I mean,
Yeah.
look, we're all going to remember her, but I watched the actual finals of the girls' breakdancing and the men's breakdancing, and it was awesome. So I
Yeah.
feel really bad for the athletes that actually medaled. Like, they're really good. Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
really good with athletes / performers, you know, like, and I think breakdancing is a really worthy inclusion because it's a very different discipline to gymnastics, and they are kind of marked differently to how gymnastics are marked on. It's like how you go with the beat and how smooth your transitions are, and
Yeah.
you know what sort of how expressive you are. So creativity and like improvisation is really like, you know, those are the things they want to see, the judges want to see in breakdancing. So I do like the breakdancing. It's not going to come back in LA, which is a shame.
That is a shame.
But you know, the lady who won, she's like, I think she was like a lady in her 30s, and she'd been practicing. Apparently, after work every day, they go outside the station in her home station in South Tokyo, and her and her crew just practice breakdancing, like in the subway station.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And like everybody, like, you know, different b-boy and b-girl groups come and like challenge each other to breakdancing. I'm just like, that's so cool, like, you know.
That is very cool.
And so shout out to them, like they were really, really good. But you know, Regan, what can you say? Nobody will ever forget that performance.
No. That is true. It's not going to get forgotten, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, Nick, so that's one of our obvious lowlights, and it started at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Highlights. We have to probably go to all the champions who won in the last year. As
Yeah.
much as I love to say it, Liverpool
Yep.
winning the league and winning easily.
Yeah.
PSG ending their drought and France's drought, even, like, to win a title.
Yeah, exactly.
For the, like, you know, this proud footballing nation.
Yeah.
Very top level, and this is France's second ever European club title, so they've not even won like a UEFA Cup or a Cup Winners' Cup in that time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Actually, no, they won a Cup Winners' Cup with
they did?
PSG back in the 90s, I think.
Oh, okay.
We're talking ages ago, so France has gotten another club title in Europe, a second club to join the Marseille from 1990, and like as we mentioned, that 1991 Marseille title is tainted because their team was relegated from Ligue 1 for match fixing.
Ah, yes.
And while obviously we know that the players were not involved, it was all done by the board of directors. Like, you know, it obviously puts
Right.
a big cloud on that team.
Yeah.
And there's no suggestion that they bribed referees or did match fixing in the European Cup that year, but still, it doesn't. It's got that dark cloud. We have to highlight Auckland FC, our local, winning the minor premiers in their
Yeah.
debut season,
Whoop, whoop,
and
whoop.
like what a season! Like they've basically won the hearts and minds, I think, of our city.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I think it's,
I think it's just turned Mount Smart into basically the hub of sports in Auckland.
yeah. So I see the port have now officially endorsed the Western Springs, one of the Western Springs stadium proposals, uh, where the Black Knights would move there and that would be their home. But they would have basically a purpose-built ground for them,
I,
just a
I
small stadium.
understand.
So
I understand the reasoning because I think while the Black Knights do sell out games now, they're gonna have on and off seasons. They're not like
yeah,
the Warriors who consistently have built that fan base that will get the crowds. But like, you're just gonna get the same problem Western Springs Stadium has now,
yeah, yeah,
and you've got and the people, the residents have a more valid gripe against you if you start playing night games there.
yeah. There is that.
Crowds and
So, so I feel like the Black Knights are trying to have that sort of late afternoon kickoff time. 5 o'clock kickoff time. That's very family friendly. They seem to like that kickoff time this last season, as opposed to a later kickoff time of 7.
yeah, I
Maybe
mean
it's
that
not so
would
bad
be
then.
better. You will still get some lights. It'll probably
Yeah,
be till like if it's till 9, 10 o'clock. I don't think the neighbors are gonna complain too much. It's when it goes past 11, 12
yeah, yeah.
that causes the
Exactly.
issue.
So it's, I mean, if kickoff's normally 5 o'clock, that should probably be okay because people are out by it's finishing around 7, out by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So
And we've been to the stock races. They're fantastic fun. Like all
oh
the
yeah,
kids enjoyed it. Had a
yes.
great time.
It's,
Um,
it's also
and great
quite
atmosphere.
easy access as well, like public transport and roads and everything. Could be
Yeah,
better with it's got no train. It's only buses for public transport, but it's still very
I mean
excellent. So
you can catch a train to town and catch a bus there. That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
too much.
It's like Mount Smart's, at least it's sort of on that train line. They've got the only Onehunga train line. Still, there's not a stop right there. It's still Penrose, which is still a good 10-minute walk. But there is a train somewhere nearby, and trains always a little bit better at sort of the mass movement. You don't get
100%. Like
any traffic with them right there on their own dedicated rails. But yeah, the same problem at Western Springs. There's absolutely nothing there. It's only bus. But the actual like roading around there is pretty good. So getting large number of people's in and out on the roads is not probably going to be that much of a hassle. So,
yeah, I mean the issue with North Harbour Stadium's a fantastic stadium.
Mm.
Full stop. But it's public transport is the issue. Like
oh yeah,
getting there is a pain. You have
yeah,
to drive.
you have to drive. Like theoretically,
And
there's
then find
buses
a place
somewhere
to
near,
park.
but that's just no.
And like it would be fine to drive there if there was parking, but it's not really got that much parking.
No.
Like that's the problem whenever there's a big event in Albany.
Yeah. And it's still
Uh,
like the edge of the city too, right? So at least Western Springs is the center of the city. So,
Western Springs, like Eden Park is ideal in terms of how connected it is. Like
yeah.
you just get off the train and you're at the stadium.
Mhm.
You're at the places you're gonna want to be at before and after your game as well.
Yeah. It's almost like there's been a stadium there for 100 years or so, and the infrastructure's sort of developed around it. Strange how that works.
Yeah. The issue with Eden Park is obviously the locals don't want so many events there.
Yeah. The issue with Eden Park, it's in the middle of the suburbs.
If only someone had proposed building a stadium where we had land in the city. I don't know, 14 years ago, and where we had bipartisan support and
Yeah, exactly.
everyone was happy, including local councils had agreed to it.
Yeah. It was almost like it was completely agreed, and was like we'd have a downtown stadium right next to all the transport options.
all the transport options. No
And
one
all the
can
bars.
complain. Yeah. No one can complain
No.
as well about noise because you're in the city.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, yeah, it's like, who's living where it was going to be, who's living there. Not there's not even that many apartments around where the proposed locations was. So
Yeah.
mean,
and
potentially now there's more, but that's because, as you say, was it 14 or so years is more. 15, 16 years have gone by since the proposal was going through.
Pretty much, and then we have the local arena there as well.
Yeah.
So it would have been a good sports hub. I mean, maybe it would have been too big for cricket, especially Test and first-class cricket.
Yeah.
But New Zealand cricket are very resourceful, and I'm sure they would have figured something out.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered that much. They're playing in Eden Park anyway, which is directly too big for New Zealand cricket, unless people are playing Australia, England, or India. Like,
I mean, yeah, but they do use the outer oval for I'm saying more for Auckland cricket.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. I mean, but you could still keep the outer oval at Eden Park, right? That's not the problem.
You could probably keep the main stand, maybe save it as a stadium, and then give up the rest for redevelopment or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Move the cool statue of Michael Jones to the new stadium.
yeah, exactly.
But that's what we don't live in that timeline, unfortunately.
No, we don't live in that timeline.
And we're very early days. I don't know what's gonna happen with Western Springs. You and I have been hearing about a new stadium proposal at Western Springs for decades now.
Yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure that was an option at the time, when we're talking about when the proposal was. Yeah, I think pretty sure there was 3 options: Downtown Stadium, Western Springs Stadium, or revamp Eden Park. That was actually the options.
There was also a proposal to do, because Carlo Park wasn't apartments yet at that point. We had land.
Well, that was the downtown. Downtown was there was perhaps 2 versions of Downtown Stadium, right? There was
the waterfront in Carlo Park, and
Carlo
both
Park,
would have been great.
Yeah, either or would have been fine.
There was also a proposal to have Mount Smart Stadium and put in an actual train station in the stadium.
Oh yes, that's right. So there was that option as well.
Which would have also been good. There's in the end we got what we got.
Yeah.
And then as Yara likes to tell me, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Wise words.
Yep. So we'll see. So as far as what you and I can work out, any decade now, the Black Knights might move to Western Springs.
Yeah, exactly. Sometime in the next 60 or 70 years.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's the heart of the support now. It's moved to that part of the city. I can't imagine the Warriors moving. Having the occasional game at Eden Park for big games is fine.
Yeah.
And obviously we want to have home games around the country in Christchurch and Wellington and Dunedin.
Yeah.
But other than that, those are those are exception cases. But and a lot of those games are actually home games for the Australian teams.
Yeah. They will traditionally take a game to down that way. I think the West Tigers have in the past been pretty good at that, taking a game to Christchurch or something.
I think, the Bulldogs, because they
Bulldogs too, yes.
have the Flower Show in one of their home game things. They do consistently play a game in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
So it's always the Western clubs that do that.
Yeah.
It's because Sydney City and Manly know they don't want to get booed all game. Even the rugby union fans who know nothing about league would be like, we're just gonna go to this game to hate watch Manly.
Exactly.
So highlights there. The Warriors so far a highlight. Looks like a very, very good season despite their result last week.
Yeah. No, I think so.
do we have to sneakily worry about the Panthers?
You always have to sneakily worry about the Panthers. That's what the last few years have shown us.
Yeah.
And they did look
Basi-
very good without their origin stars, which is a scary thought as we head into the second half of the season.
Yeah, so I think you and I both thought easy win for the Warriors last week with Penrith, no origin stars.
Yeah. I would have thought Warriors no origin stars versus Penrith no origin stars was a win for the Warriors, but that's just life. I mean, we're still top 4, so it's still fine.
We are still top 4. Then the excuse me, looking at the other sports, the other champions we have to highlight just recently, fresh off the press, the Oklahoma Thunder bringing their first
yes.
title to the city of Oklahoma.
Yeah, well done.
And some highlights for that team: Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP, and had a great final series as well. Had a historic season, averaging 50 points a game, basically.
Wow, that is amazing.
So, incredible season for them. And, it was an incredible season all around for basketball. So many good teams with interesting... the basketball, NBA especially, was getting samey. Everybody was trying to win the same way. Everybody was trying to copy the guys who were winning, and everybody was playing iso ball, and now it's almost like every team has a different style and different tactic, and every team has a different long-term strategy on how they're planning to build their champions. Except for the Phoenix Suns, who are still trying to win the old way by getting big stars, but I mean, I do like the fact that their owner just said, "Hey, I hate tanking. I just want to win. I don't care." I'm like, "Yeah, good."
That is good
I don't
to hear.
wake up at 6 in the morning to watch you guys play so that I can watch you guys tank.
Yeah, be cool.
This might mean I never get to see you guys win in my lifetime, but still. Yeah. And we had the Stanley Cup final between the Florida Panthers and the Calgary Oilers. Calgary trying to finally win a Stanley Cup for Canada. Unfortunately, Lord Stanley's Cup does not go home.
No.
And remains in the USA as the Panthers win back-to-back. After a great series going to 6 games. So snaps for them, more champions there. And we have to go we have to snaps to Cruz Azul, the team that was that derived the term Cruz Azulier, which basically means to fail spectacularly, i.e. be Spursy.
Yes. Yes, go the Spurs of the Mexican Football League.
League MX's Spurs end up winning not just winning the CONCACAF Gold Cup,
Yeah.
and the Copa Libertadores in November, won by Botafogo of all teams, the Spurs of Brazil. Basically, the team called the Cholos, or the Criers. So, we have noted this pattern, the anti-Spurs effect. I did write about this to the Great Cricketer, and they have saluted my predictive skills, because South Africa indeed did win the Test World Championship.
South Africa.
The Proteas finally win a world title. Of course, they have won the Commonwealth Games in 1998, and they won the Wills Mini World Cup in 1998 as well in Bangladesh. So that was the Wills Mini World Cup, was to become the Champions Trophy. But the Champions Trophy is not a world title. Nobody thinks it is. It's an ICC title, and for the longest time, it was both South Africa and New Zealand's only ICC title
Yeah.
for the men's teams. For the men's team, I
For the
have
men's
to
teams, yeah.
reiterate. The ladies have won the did become world champions in 2000,
Yes.
and they became champions again last year.
Yeah.
Another highlight: New Zealand women winning the World Cup. Melia Kerr.
Yeah. And they have a chance. That was T20 Women's World Cup, and they've got a chance this year for the Women's ODI World Cup, which I see.
Do.
I think it's Divine's the one that announced her retirement after this as well. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she has put in a long innings for the team.
Yeah.
Pun fully intended.
Yes.
She played in the 2010
Yeah.
World Cup final with Susie Bates. Her and back then Amelia Kerr was in primary school, and she wrote a little essay with pictures about how one day she would be in a World Cup final and win it with Susie Bates and Sophie Devine.
Yeah, and then she did.
Which is incredible that she managed to do that as well.
No, it's amazing.
And like 3 other girls with her from Tower Primary School would go on to be in that team.
Yes, obviously had a great sporting program out of that school.
And look, you and I have always sung the praises of Melia Kerr.
Yeah.
We cannot say enough good things about her. Like I've just said it, like I think she's the most talented cricketer to be born in New Zealand since Kane Williamson.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And like a good shout for first most talented cricketer to be, I don't know, I think she's just born in this century? Maybe?
Maybe, I think so. Pretty sure it's all pretty close. Yes, 13th of October 2000.
Yeah, so I think she's the most talented cricketer to be born this century. Full stop. Not just in New Zealand, like in terms of women's cricketers, potentially the world.
Yeah, no, I think so too. It'd be pretty. Can't.
And
Yeah.
it's basically her or Poonam Yadav, right?
Yeah.
And the of New Zealand cricket, she's clearly the most talented cricketer to be born this century, male or female. And she's a world champion. She's a super leader, and we just obviously hope a long career for her.
Yeah,
And more good
exactly.
things. And the men, what a highlight! Winning in India, the impossible dream.
Yeah.
The Indian team that had been undefeated at home for 12 years.
Yeah.
And not only lost, absolutely smashed.
Yes, like dominated just in every aspect.
It was 3-0, and every game the New Zealand, like, this is a crossroads moment for Indian cricket. Like, they've been the best team in the world for the last 5 years, pretty much, until they lost this year, like where they lost to New Zealand and lost to Australia in Australia.
Yeah.
The last 2 World Test Championship cycles, sure, they lost the finals, and probably the couple of years leading up to them, they were the best team in the world.
Yeah.
In all conditions, they had the bowling attack, they had the batters in form. They did not need to do what they did at home, where they basically made really good spin, really tough spin bowling conditions, because it kind of, it ruined Virat Kohli's record, because he was playing on such really tough wickets at home.
Yeah.
And Rohit Sharma, and their spinners are already better than anybody else's spinners, more or less. So they can actually outbowl. They're better off bowling on more even wickets because they'll outbowl the other spinners. But if you give these sort of wickets to overseas bowlers, they just got used to the conditions. Ajaz Patel already has a good record in India, but it was players like Glenn Phillips and Mitchell Santner bowled amazingly well in the first 2 games. He's unlucky to get injured for the third one, but we didn't miss him because that's when Ajaz came into. It was in Mumbai, and what happens to him in Mumbai?
It's his ground, man. It's his ground.
pretty much. And players like Rachin Ravindra and Glenn Phillips and Will Young all batted patiently. They knew that they needed to do just enough
Yeah.
to win the games. They played with the right strategy, and they backed their spin bowlers. Like, I kind of wish they played like that here, where they backed their spin bowlers in our home conditions, because New Zealand have good batting conditions now.
Yeah.
They're even-ish at the you get a bit at the beginning bounce-wise from the pitch, but there's no. If you get a bit of swing, you'll get a bit of swing, but that's rarer and rarer in New Zealand because it's just warmer and warmer in summer now. And they're really good to bat on, but they're not overtly good to bat on. You just have to be patient and work hard. But if you work hard as a bowling unit and you use good strategies, you'll get wickets. And I feel like if this is Mitchell Santner's come of age, they need to give him more games, use him as the weapon he is, really, in the red ball game.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, he just needs to... I think you hit it on the head. Like, in New Zealand conditions, we're going to play our spinners more. We tend to get here, and then it's just... Oh, New Zealand's swing bowlers or seam bowlers pitches, so we're going to pick our... we're going to just pick fast bowlers the whole time.
I mean...
And it works. The thing is that it worked the one time when we won the Test Championship, because we could win everything at home, and the conditions suited that, and we had the bowlers to do that. But I feel like we're a little bit chasing that glory still, and it's like things have moved on, times have moved on, our bowlers have moved on.
Because in that Test Championships cycle, we did use Mitchell Santner at home.
Yeah,
pretty much, or Ish Sodhi in most of our home games. And Mitchell Santner was the bowler who got the three wickets against Pakistan, who were trying to bat out for a draw.
Yeah.
And that game eventually is the game that win got us to the finals. Mitchell didn't play in the finals, which is fine. Like, that's horses for courses.
Yeah.
In England, early June, that made sense. And to a certain extent, New Zealand didn't need to rely too much on a spinner, because Neil Wagner just bowled so many overs.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. We had Wagner who could just, like, put in a shift and be counted on for wickets. So he was basically a spinner, but a fast bowler. Like, in that he filled that role, right, of just being, like, the workhorse at one end and just, like, bowl a whole lot of overs.
He's a very threatening workhorse, because he bowled a lot of overs, but he kept bowling those bouncers because he's lefty, and those bouncers would like, players had trouble. Like, Steve Smith had trouble playing him.
Yeah.
And that was like almost peak Steve Smith at that point, where he was batting really well. So I think Neil Wagner is like a wonder of an age. I can't believe South Africa let him move here and do what he did, because like, he bowls, just doesn't stop bowling. He has unlimited stamina, and like the fact that he just didn't stop bowling bouncers, like even when who am I thinking? Australian bowler. He had a mustache and he kept bowling bouncers that one series. Left-hander. Gonna kill me.
Not thinking Stark, no?
No, not Stark. This guy's
Further back?
Mitchell Johnson. There we
Johnson,
go.
Right.
Yeah. So the season when that series of Mitchell Johnson, when he grew the mustache because he had a terrible Ashes.
I forgot about the mustache on him.
But, like, he was incredible because he just kept bowling bouncers. But the thing is, everybody was scared because he was a left arm guy bowling bouncers, and it's just and that's just scarier.
Yeah.
And it's when it's coming into your face.
It's that different angle, right? And it's like
that different angle, and it's coming, like, especially if it rises quickly from that different angle.
Yeah.
but Mitchell Johnson used that as an impact. Like he'd bowl a few overs of it and then go back to bowling like just his pace because he was really fast.
Yeah.
And but Neil Wagner just kept bowling shorts, and he didn't care.
Yeah, like Johnson and even Stark do it. Like they bowl the short ball to get the batter back on the back foot, right, and then try to beat them with pace with the full ball. And so the short ball is just the softener, right? It's the jab, it's the jab, it's the jab, and then they're going to come with the big hook or whatever. But for Wagner, it was the jab and the hook and everything. That was the only option. It was just like short ball, short ball, short ball. And now this is where you expect the full in-swing Yorker, and you get the short ball.
Well, it wasn't so much the short ball. To go back to your boxing analogy, it wasn't just so much when you just jab like that all the time. It's basically he was just going for an uppercut with every shot.
Yeah,
like uppercut, uppercut, uppercut. Oh, what are you uppercut? Like, doing?
What was great about it is, as you say, it was very predictable. So the batters knew it was coming, but they still couldn't deal with it as well because he was so good at that and so knew what he was trying to do and the plans that he was bowling to. That they just he could execute it so well that you knew what was coming and you still couldn't do that much about it. You could try and take it on and you'd get out. You could try and see it out and it would never go away. And so you had to take it on and then you'd get out.
And as long as you had a bowler on the other end, either being economical or also probing, so Saudi bowling like wobble seam or Trent Bolt doing reverse swing or you swing, assuming he can get it. Like Trent Bolt can bowl anything. Like let's just be clear here. Like we had two incredible lefties in that era. Somehow we're like winning test matches without Trent Bolt and Neil Wagner in India of all places. So, and the fast bowling lineup looks good because if Kyle Jamieson and O'Rourke can stay relatively injury free, they're both because of their height and pace and the fact that they can get the ball, they can bowl full without floating the ball from their height.
Yeah.
Which is what makes them really, really difficult to play. So it doesn't float, so it'll bounce up because it's coming from a top. It's basically the Curtly Ambrose model, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can be accurate, you're going to be a really good test bowler. Obviously, Curtly Ambrose effectively was injury-proof somehow, and he just kept bowling. And probably because he said he didn't play cricket seriously till he was 21 years old. Like he'd just been playing basketball all his life till then. And like he played cricket, like obviously he's grown up in the Caribbean, but he wasn't he wasn't playing it seriously. He was playing like occasional club games and stuff, and they were like, you could become a professional cricketer. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll give it a go. Really, Richardson was just like, yeah, no, you're really good. And then like 21 starts playing starts taking it seriously. 22, he's in the West Indies team. And obviously goes on to have like a legendary career.
Yes.
Like, he's a proper scary bowler, right? Like we all
definitely
love to watch him bowl. Like this is sort of bowler like now in New Zealand, like you'd have so many overs under you. I wonder if that's basically why he had the longevity, right? He bowled till his mid-30s because he just didn't like bowl so much as a young person, let his body develop and grow into what he was going to be.
And that has been a criticism, especially in New Zealand, of our fast bowling development, is that we break our fast bowlers too easily. And that
we did.
Could be very true that we just put too much on them too early.
There was a theory when we were here in the 90s, like, 'cause that was like a pandemic of injuries. This is why Chris Martin became good, right? He used to suck.
Yeah.
But he had to keep getting picked because he never got injured. Despite being a stroker. It's like, this is why he doesn't get injured. He doesn't put in the effort. But like you and I could probably name so many like promising bowlers who got lost to injury. Shane Bond, like
Yes,
the ultimate what if,
that
and
is the
then
ultimate what
oh,
if. Yeah.
and then even really talented bowlers like Shane O'Connor,
Mm,
Jeff Allett,
yes.
like left arm swing bowlers who had the whole arsenal of swing.
Yeah.
Simon Doull,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
uh,
Dooley still had a reasonably decent career, but yeah,
he had a long career, but he didn't play many games. Like he's only
yeah.
got 95 Test wickets. Like
I know.
given his talent, that's like.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even Dion Nash, who ended up playing a long time, had heaps of injuries
Yeah.
as a bowler. And like Ian Butler,
Mm,
another pace guy. Carl Bolton, another guy who used to bowl fast.
yeah.
Like we're going through the names, but then like that changed a bit. Like we got a decent group. Like Lockie Ferguson's unlucky. He's the one I would say is injury prone.
Yes, definitely.
Kyle Jamieson was young and he was getting injuries that you'd expect at his age. Like same with O'Rourke. Like they're tall young guys. They're gonna strain themselves a bit as they're growing into their bowling bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
And you hope it doesn't become a because neither of them have bowled that much. Jacob Orham's another guy who was injury prone
Oh, yes,
as a
no,
bowler.
hugely so.
So and like Jacob Orham caught injuries on the field as well. So that's that's a bit unlucky. But there's
Yeah.
a theory that it was like a lot of indoor cricket in the winter because you're bowling on the hard surface.
Ah, yes.
Was putting a lot of extra wear and tear because we were getting injuries like knees, right? Knees,
Yeah.
thigh, hips, back, which is like
Yeah.
those are the areas you're putting in the thing, putting the pressure on. It wasn't like shoulder or arm sort of injuries. Like Shane
Yeah.
Warne and other bowlers tend to. That's what bowlers tend to get as they bowl longer and longer. You get the shoulder injuries.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like Graham Swan says that I can't bowl. Like I can't even bowl to my kid in like backyard cricket anymore because of my shoulder injuries.
Yeah.
But like I can still bat, and he's pretty good. He was really funny because apparently they had like he went to his son's school to play dads and sons game, and
Yeah.
he was like really looking forward to coming out to bat because he had physioed, and he's like I'm all good, and then like one of the kids just got him out first ball, and he was like I'm so angry. But I had to be all like, oh no, good on you, mate. Like, that was a good ball. Because you can just imagine Swanee as well.
Yeah. It's like, God damn it. I just like that, yeah. Former England Test cricketer, like, coming out. Just that concept. You like, it's a cool, fun time, and, here's an actual Test cricketer coming out to bat. Like, yeah, and everybody's like, oh, yeah. This is gonna hit it round, it's gonna be a bit of fun, and then just first ball out. Oh. I'm just being like furious with himself about it.
Yeah. Because, like, when I grew up in Brunei, there was, like, players like Ian Botham and Viv Richards used to play cricket there. For
Alright.
the Sultan. Like,
Yeah,
'cause he had his own private cricket ground, and he would set up, like, a Brunei 11, like local players playing in the local league and stuff like that, and then
Alright,
he'd
yeah.
have like his all-star team, and he even had Javed Miandad. So not Javed Miandad. Jahangir Khan, the squash player, like
Alright, yeah.
the goat,
Yeah.
come and play, and it was it was really cool. It was like because Viv is exactly as cool as you would think. I never met them, but like the other my dad and like other people did meet them, and I was just like,
Alright.
because at that point I wasn't even that into cricket, and now I was just like, man, if only I'd played cricket then, I would have probably gotten to bowl to Ian Botham or
Yeah.
face a delivery from him.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. So it would be similar to that. But the other, so lowlights. We're going more off-field lowlights. You and I talked about this before. FIFA awarding
Yes.
2030 World Cup to Saudi Arabia.
2034.
2034, beg your pardon. But no, also the 2030 to all these countries, so that the only choice was to give it to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No other. And have the bidding process open for what, maybe a week, a month? Like a super short time. Like, our bidding's open, our bidding's shut.
Yeah. And because FIFA could have run like if it was a proper process. Let's just pie in the sky thinking here.
Yeah.
Proper process, and we had proper bids. South Australia could have run a reasonably
Yeah.
like net zero-ish bid. Like you don't need to build too many venues.
Well,
There's
I mean, you do it with New Zealand, right? And we've literally with them just hosted the Women's World Cup. So
Yeah.
it's like we have, the facilities are basically there already. We've just done it. The process is there. Like everything's fine. We can do it. We've just shown it.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. Like 10 years later.
Pretty
11 years
much.
later.
And like even with the bigger tournament, it's a 48 team World Cup. Like we just hosted a 32 team tournament.
Yeah.
There's like you could have 4 great stadiums in New Zealand. You could expand that to 6 if you wanted.
Yeah.
Like you could host it in North Harbour and Eden Park.
Yeah.
And,
Theoretically,
and
potentially, it could put the emphasis on getting getting that other stadium, however that was. Might be a bit small, but add an extra one in, potentially.
they could, obviously there'd be Caketon, there'd be the stadium in Christchurch, Hamilton, and Dunedin, and you could also host one in Tauranga.
Yeah.
Like you just need to do a bit of upgrades, because those stadiums wouldn't be white elephants either. If they're like under 30, like 30k stadiums, they would be good for rugby and
exactly, and cricket and everything.
Cricket and rugby and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So using Hamilton's already got that sort of ground. North Harbour Stadium's roughly 20,000.
Yeah.
You can temporary stands to make it 30.
Yeah.
Give or take. Eden Park can have temporaries to make it 50. You've got Stadium Australia. You've got the Sydney Football Ground. You've got Newcastle. You've got Suncorp. You've got Queensland. The Titans Stadium, which is great. Like that goal. Like the Titans don't get that many fans, but their stadium's awesome.
Yeah.
There's also like all the NRL grounds, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you've got you'll have the stadium in Perth and Adelaide as well.
Yeah.
So it could have very easily been done, and heck, it could even have been a 3-country bid. Like PNG could have hosted games as well.
Potentially, yeah.
Depending on...
exactly. You could have. There's plenty that we could have done.
Yeah.
But there was zero opportunity really.
Yeah. But hey, that means 2038 can only go to New Zealand, right?
Clearly.
Every other federation's gotten it in the last 2. So in the end, we're happy with FIFA, is what we're saying. But this wasn't really a low light as much as it's a highlight.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's it. Has to come to Oceania. New Zealand hosts it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, because I was listening to this documentary on The Athletic about Gianni Infantino, and they got... And, lots of people are really diplomatic about how they talk about it because they know his perception. And then they just interviewed the guy who's head of Oceania, and I can't remember his name, but he's a Kiwi guy, and it's like, yeah, man, we know the reputation, but we just look at results. Look at how much football's improved here because of FIFA and, Oceania, and, and all the funding, all the grassroots funding. Oceania football can't survive with FIFA's thing, and FIFA has been really good to us and making sure we can grow the game and blah. And he's not being sarcastic. He's openly yeah, they might be corrupt, but they're really good for us. So what do you want us to do? They're literally the hand that feeds us.
Exactly.
And we get a really good deal out of it in Oceania compared to the other continents. Given what we contribute to world football economically, what we get out of FIFA is actually quite tremendous, right? And we got to host a World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Oceania is the child, the mummy's boy of FIFA's mom. Oceania, the OFC is the mummy's boy of the litter.
Yeah.
All the others, gripe a little bit. Mummy's like this, but Oceania's like, no, Mummy's great. Like, don't you dare say a bad word about her.
Exactly.
Maybe in New Zealand we would have come like. It's impossible to think about New Zealand coming as far as it has in football without FIFA.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even the fact that we made it to the World Cup in 1982 was because FIFA, put in so much money so that our teams could travel to those fixtures and things like that. Loaned money to New Zealand, which they kind of let them not pay back, and things like this.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. Like, you and I openly criticize FIFA, but we're also kind of like, yeah, but the money does get here, and indirectly, we're getting the '38 World Cup, right? That's what it boils down to. None of the others can host it; they don't qualify.
Yeah. It'd still be too soon from North America, right? So.
Oh, it's North America or us.
Yeah.
Dang.
Go back to the States again.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
It was a good dream while we had it.
Yeah, well.
We could do a campaign of it's Oceania's time, boys.
Oceania's time.
We hosted a Rugby World Cup. It's the same.
Yeah.
We'll get the Rugby League World Cup in 2030.
Yeah.
Touch wood. That will be an amazing tournament if it's held in New Zealand. Like, the country will go off.
It would be amazing.
If the Rugby League World Cup is held in New Zealand.
Yeah. That would be actually pretty awesome.
Especially if there's countries like the Cook Islands qualifying. Cook Islands and obviously Samoa, Fiji, Tonga. We'd want them to be at that tournament as well.
Yeah.
Even like South Africa.
Yeah.
And Lebanon, PNG, obviously. So it'll be obviously New Zealand, England, and Australia will have and France will have all their fans and supporters. But I could just see every game being a sellout in
100%. That would be happening. Yeah. It would be crazy sort of bit, really. Oh, yeah. I just thought of another low-ish point, highlight/low point, talking about FIFA and how, as you say, they have helped Oceania and New Zealand football specifically in getting them around. And this is for New Zealand hockey. So New Zealand hockey just won the Nations Cup.
Nice.
Second time in a row, which is great. And the Nations Cup is the second tier competition, and the winner of that's meant to go to the Pro League, which is the top 6. I think maybe 8 teams in the world. New Zealand won the Nations Cup last time and then refused to play in the Pro League, or turned down the offer to play in the Pro League because most of the teams in the Pro League are in Europe. So it's called every time travel to Europe, play a couple of games, come back home. Travel to Europe, play some games, come back home. Maybe go to Argentina, come back home. You get to go to Australia, play Australia. That's okay, but the cost is just phenomenal.
They made South Korea as well.
Yeah, South Korea, Japan, but still, I think 4, 5 of the teams: Great Britain, Netherlands, Germany, Spain. At least 4, maybe France.
Yep. The big 4.
The big 4 in Europe, right? So half your time you're spending in Europe, and it was just too expensive, so they turned it down. And they've just gone to the Nations Cup in Singapore, won it again. Beaten Pakistan quite comprehensively in the final, and it sounds like they're going to turn down the Pro League again because it's just too expensive. So, World Hockey has to do something. The FIH has to do something for this and be like, we have to actually find a better model with, one of the best teams in the world can actually compete in our top competition.
They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because World Hockey, the Pro League's been really good, and it's given them a lot of funding and money they just previously weren't able to collect regularly. They were really reliant on the Olympics and the World Cup.
Yeah.
From what I understand. And the Hockey World Cup's not even in the same hemisphere forget the Football World Cup, not even in the same hemisphere as the Cricket or Rugby World Cup.
No.
in terms of popularity. It doesn't have any big, like the Cricket World Cup has big countries like, India in terms of population. The Rugby World Cup has like a lot of countries, and it has countries like the USA
Yeah.
playing in it, and like rugby has the rich people of those countries who like rugby. So it's always gonna have money, like in a way. And hockey is not quite at that same level, right? Like India, while obviously hockey's still popular there, it's not like cricket popular anymore.
No, it has gone down. So yeah, hockey's popularity really is geographically that is shrunk to being quite popular in those countries I was mentioning in Europe, especially Netherlands, Belgium as well, Germany.
Yeah, hockey is probably popular as a participation sport in a lot of European countries, but like in terms of like has fan support, has fans traveling with the team, and like and
exactly.
it's on TV, players are stars. It's basically the Netherlands has always been the big one.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Germany, and then as you said, Spain and Great Britain is always there. And in Asia, like basically Japan, I think Pakistan and India, while they're the traditional powers of hockey, since artificial turf came around, it's been South Korea and Japan, right? Like that's the two countries.
Yes, they've definitely risen up, those two. Especially in the women's game, those two are quite good teams.
Because back in the day, Malaysia was also really big on hockey as well.
Yeah.
From even Bangladesh used to be big on hockey. My dad grew up playing hockey in school and things like that. But obviously Bangladesh was part of Pakistan back then.
Yeah.
But you don't see, like, because hockey's never left the programs in like New Zealand and Australia. Like even if you're like a rugby school or a football school or a rugby league school, you all play hockey, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's like down the pecking order in terms of like prestige or priority, it's just always there.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, World Hockey, they need to do a new model, but also like the countries that are currently in the top pro league are the ones who have the money and like have the viewers.
Yeah. So it's just I mean the pro league itself is a really great concept. It's just New Zealand continues to be good enough to be in that competition and cannot compete because of costs. I mean, they competed for a few years and it was just too costly.
Because you're the hockey guy, so is hockey like cricket where it's the boards that decide the rights? Like, one of the things that would solve the problem with Test cricket is if all the cricket boards just went, okay, World Test Championships, it's considered a tournament. Forget relegation promotion for now. We sell the whole rights to one company. They have to buy all the rights, like the Premier League. We sell all the rights and it's distributed evenly between all the countries, and then we have prize money distribution. So whoever gets, and this is just to grow the Test cricket game, because quite frankly, like, sure, India and England are the ones contributing a bulk of the money, but this would continue international Test cricket, and it would grow the game in both those. Like, it would end up bringing more money for those two countries in the long run if there was more. And that would provide, like, if you're selling, because I think if you did that model, Test cricket, it would be like a $2 billion, TV rights, like. Easily, if not 3 or 4 billion, because you've got the Indian audience, and they watch all cricket, not just Indian cricket.
Yeah, I'm just watching it.
Right? So like, and this is like all over the subcontinent, because like when I'm in Bangladesh, there's just cricket playing on every TV in the background. Everybody's watching some test match going on somewhere.
Yeah.
Like depends. I usually go there at around December, but that's basically what everybody's got playing on a TV. Like they're either watching T20s, they're either watching a test match, they're either watching one dayers, like in some tournament.
Something somewhere.
Something somewhere.
Yeah. No, hockey is probably more they take their model more from FIFA, possibly without quite as much corruption.
Yeah.
But they've got the confederations. They've got five confederations. Because the Americas are all one big confederation.
Yeah.
They got Pan America, Oceania, European, Asia, Africa. But
That is
yeah.
the model in almost everything except for like Olympics and football. Like cricket,
Yeah.
rugby, all the Americas is one
Yeah.
confederation.
So you have the confederations which do things. But yeah, basically at the same time, it's those European superpowers in India that have the sway on what's happening because that's where the viewers are, the spectators are. So, I say, whilst India has declined, question mark, in
They're
terms
still in
of
the Pro League? Are
yeah,
India in the Pro League or are they in the Nations League?
pretty sure they're in the Pro League. Yeah, no, they're in the Pro League. They've hosted 3 of the last 4 World Cups, I think it was. 3 of the last 5 World Cups. Oh no, 3 of the last 4 World Cups has been India. Next year's one is in Netherlands, so make it 3 of the last 5 at that point. The other ones being in the Netherlands. So India or the Netherlands, basically.
Well, those are the two big in terms of like fans, right? Like Netherlands, India.
Yeah, exactly. So since 2010, that's where the World Cup's been, is in those 2 countries. Exactly. It is. Those are the 2 big countries. They have a lot of power. Germany, as I understand, it's pretty. I mean, hockey's big there. They've got a big team. They're in the Pro League. They win World Cups. So, I mean, there is a reason why though, and Belgium as well. Belgium's pretty good. So they control a lot as well. But theoretically, it's the power base is meant to be more like FIFA's, with the confederations each having votes in it. It sort of has that, but in a
it's a hybrid cricket and football in a way that doesn't work like either in the end.
In the end, it doesn't really work like either in the end. It sort of worked well for a while, but you say the Pro League's a great option, but just works best for the teams nearby those big ones, not for like New Zealand, who's miles away. So it's because you're Australia with all the money anyway.
Yeah, so what you're saying is like the Pro League, it's got its own TV rights as a Pro League. Like the league sells its rights and has those media rights, versus like each board gets their home rights and things like this.
Yeah, no,
because that's what's been holding cricket back forever.
Yeah. No, my understanding is the Pro League's its own thing, so that it has, and that's what they did, is they created that to be able to sell the rights for it and have it. So, in which way it's also a hybrid of the Premier League, right? And the English FA, where it had its thing and that's there. Not quite as separate, in my understanding, as say the Premier League from the FA, which was its own thing. It broke away and it had its own thing. It's more of a own competition, but it is the Pro League. This is it. This is the top teams. So we're selling that as a.
It's actually the opposite. The Premier League left the Football League and then joined the FA into forming the Premier League. So the FA gave them legitimacy.
Yeah.
So because the first 3 seasons it was called the FA Premier League.
All right. Yeah.
And then the Premier League spun off from the FA and became its own thing. So it's basically effectively like a club, right? All the members are the clubs in the thing, and they vote on the changes and the status of the league. But it's the fact that it is the top tier of the English league, and that legitimacy, the fact that it gets the qualifying spots and everything, is because that's what the FA gives them.
Yeah.
Because the FA hated the EFL, the English Football League, and they've never gotten along, and basically did what they did 20 years ago, and we got the Premier League. Now, with the looking more on highlights / lowlights, Auckland City FC making their
Yeah.
final appearance probably at the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
They have so far lost all 2 of their games. They
Yeah.
lost to Benfica 6-0 and they lost to Bayern Munich 10-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel particularly bad for their goalkeeper, Casey, who took leave without pay to be
Yeah.
at the tournament. Like, literally insults injury.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate, but I mean, I understand he's been playing really well. It's just
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not too worried about the result. It just feels wrong that we've got so many players who are literally millionaires who are going to get all this. And New Zealand football are going to get that a bunch of that $3.5 million appearance fee money because Auckland City FC have agreed to most of the money going into the grassroots cricket. And they can't play their players because New Zealand League is semi-pro. It is a salary cap league.
yeah.
But, you know, like, surely we could at least give him money that he would have earned if he was working. Like, if he took annual leave, I'd be like, okay, you know, you used your annual, fine.
Just leave it
But,
that
like,
pay.
oh, you're not being paid to be here. That, you know, when when we were making $3.5 million, that's not kosher.
He's actively losing money.
Yeah, he's actually losing money to be here. This is the greatest sacrifice any player in New Zealand history has done for their amateur domestic team since Buck Shelford had to restaple his scrotum back on.
Yes, 100%. That is true. Yeah, and they've got their final game tomorrow morning. Against Boca Juniors. So see how well they do there. Boca Juniors needing the win and the goals, I think.
They need to win at least 7-0, surely,
Yeah.
I think.
Is percent goal difference first, right? Yeah, so 7. Well, they need to win by 7 more goals. They need to have +7 over Benfica. So a little bit, it depends on what Benfica loses to Bayern as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Benfica beat Bayern, then, you know, all bets are off.
Well, the other thing is that Benfica and Bayern might just draw because Bayern doesn't care anymore, right?
Bayern always care.
They always care, and yes, good point. It is Bayern. They all care, but
played a friendly after, against an amateur club earlier this season as a preseason opener, who they beat 20-0.
Yes.
Like,
to make a point.
With like Bayern don't give a crap.
Yeah, no, they don't. They'll just win everything. I was just thinking maybe they might play a second string and that might just give Benfica a slight hands on it, but it is Bayern, so. Oh.
Yeah. That's I doubt that's gonna happen. I don't think Bayern's gonna play any second strings. They're treating this as like their preseason, and they're sort of taking it seriously. Like, we'll see how it plays out, but yeah.
Meanwhile, Chelsea managed to lose to Flamengo and therefore is likely to have to play Bayern in the knockouts now.
Yeah.
That's because some magic happens.
Yep. We all
and if
know
they don't try, if they're unlucky, Chelsea can get knocked out. Tunis, could potentially knock them out here.
Quick review of the groups. Group A, Palmeiras and Inter Miami, putting up flag for the American continent.
Mm-hmm. Miami, with Miami, Messi's dragged them through.
Messi has dragged them through. They're both through to the next round.
And he's also dragged the popularity in America through for another round as well. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting.
Yeah. The Group B, Paris Saint-Germain and Botafogo getting through.
Yeah, on goal difference.
That was like a group of death
Yeah,
situation. 3 teams on 6 points.
yeah. Atletico Madrid, unfortunately, out on goal difference, but still 6 points. So
Yeah. But we've got Bayern, Benfica. Technically, I don't think Bayern are. Bayern are through
Bayern are
because
through,
Boca
yeah.
can't catch up with them. It's up potentially. If they lose to Benfica, then I think Benfica are through. If Benfica get a point, they're through.
Yeah.
Right? A draw will get them through.
yeah. That's what I was thinking, is that Benfica can just take the draw. So
Yeah.
it's sort of on Bayern. Bayern doesn't. It theoretically doesn't matter for Bayern, but
And it would be great for Auckland City to have their final game in this tournament, where they've played and like done so well in previous
yeah,
iterations with a win.
it would be nice.
Sure, it would be nice. I say that as a non-Auckland City FC fan. Then the Group D, Flamengo. They're almost just about through. They just need a point to confirm.
No, I mean, because Chelsea's playing Tunis, so Flamengo's through no matter what.
Oh, Flamengo's through no matter what. Okay.
Yeah, because the 2 teams on 3, only one of them can make it to 6.
So they're through, and obviously whether they're first or second, and then we've got a straight shootout between Chelsea and Esperance.
Yeah.
Obviously a draw gets Chelsea through because of the goal difference.
Now LAFC are out.
Yeah, LAFC are out. Group E, it's all to play for, looks like. River Plate, Internazionale on 4 points each, and Monterrey with 2 draws on 2 points. Uruguay Red Diamonds obviously out. They can't catch up with any of the teams on 4 points, but Monterrey, it's still possible for them if
and
they
they're
get
playing
a win.
the Euro Reds, so River Plate and Inter are playing each other as well. So that.
So if they win, they're guaranteed, regardless of the result between River Plate and.
No, if they win, they'll be 5 points, and it depends how many they win by.
Yeah, it depends how many they'll win by at least 1.
Yeah, so it'd be goal 4.
They would be on the same goal difference as.
But River Plate and Inter would have more goals for. So Monterrey would have to score more goals.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have to score.
They would have.
They have to win and score 2 more, at least 2 more goals.
Win by at least 2 to guarantee a spot.
Win by 2 to guarantee a spot, or win by +1 and score 4-3. No, 5-3. 5-4 might be enough, depending. They need to be more goals then.
Because River Plate and Internazionale, if either team wins, and Monterrey win, then Monterrey are through.
Yeah, it's only if it's both River Plate and Inter a draw.
It's only a draw, right? That they're worried about. So they need to win by 2 to guarantee their position in the next round.
Yeah.
And a group, or like you said, with the goals, like they have to score
goals.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens, but win by 2. I think is the easiest one. Don't let the complicated equation get into the picture with one goal win and having this be like 6-5 or something silly like that.
In Group F, we have Fluminense making sure they want to get through if their rivals Flamengo get through.
Yeah.
On 4 points, Borussia Dortmund also on 4 points, but Mamelodi Sundowns not bad on 3 points. They've got a win against Ulsan. They're playing Borussia Dortmund next.
No, I think they're playing Fluminense next.
Fluminense. So if they beat Fluminense, they're through, obviously.
So that's pretty much a win and stay, lose and go home.
Yeah, lose or draw and go home, I guess. Unless somehow Borussia Dortmund lose to no, then if they draw, they're still gonna be.
Dortmund lose, and the Sundowns draw with Fluminense, then I think the Sundowns will go through because they'll be on +1 goal difference. Dortmund have to be at least down 1 to. Oh no, if they draw, it'll be 0, so they'd be
They'll both be on 0. It'll be goals for,
It'll
and
be
that's
goals for, and they're currently equal on that. So, yeah, depends on everything.
depends on who scores more goals at that point. Another quote-unquote group of death. Group G is done and dusted.
Yeah.
Juventus and City both through, like we predicted.
Yeah. Now I
Um,
think they're playing each other next, right, to see who's top and who's second.
yeah.
Is that right? Yes. Right.
And Group H, we have all to play for pretty much. Real Madrid on 4 points and Salzburg on 4 points. And we've got Al Hilal with 2 points.
And
Once again, they're in the same situation as the Sundowns, I guess.
But their draw's been against Madrid and Salzburg, so they're playing Pachuca, who's lost both their games. So they're playing the team that the other two have beaten. So probably in a slightly better position because
Yeah.
theoretically should
So
win since everybody
'cause
else
if
has
they
won.
win-
It'll take them to 5.
Yeah. So if they win by 2 points, once again, looks like if they score
Yeah.
win by 2 goals, they're through regardless. Because RB Salzburg, if they draw, their goal difference remains at +1
Yeah, exactly.
with the 5 points. So they need to win by at least 2 if they want to get ahead. Pachuca are not a terrible team, so
No. They've been a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think it's been relatively close. 3-1 against Real Madrid. Lost to Real Madrid. 2-1 lost to Salzburg.
yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And like this is the last chance for an Asian side to get through.
Yeah.
Oceania's lost its competitor, and look, Millimodi Sundowns might keep the flag up for Africa.
Yeah.
So let's cheer the underdogs now that Auckland FC are out.
Exactly.
Because like North America potentially might have Inter Miami through.
Yeah.
Or do have Inter Miami through, as you mentioned.
And they play PSG in the next round. So.
Yeah, so that's going to be... And Messi playing his former club.
Yeah.
The other North American sides look like they're all out. Monterrey could get through, as we mentioned. Need to win by 2 points. 2 goals, as we said. Millimodi Sundowns just need to win, as we mentioned. And they'll be through. And
talking about Africa, Tunis just needs to win as well.
Yeah, Tunis just needs to win against Chelsea get through if they were to do that. Wydad and AC and Al Ain are out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For them. Rua. So there's still potential for another North American team with Monterrey.
Yeah.
There's a couple of African teams in the plan. There's Al Hilal, the final Asian team not eliminated.
Yeah.
To get through. So there's still, like, all the continents are sort of, like, we all expected Auckland City to roughly be where they were.
Yeah. Like, they were really in the pool that they were never going to do any good in.
Yeah.
There's potential if they'd been in a different one that maybe it could have, maybe something could have happened, but yeah. Like,
We finished third in this tournament before, so you
never
know.
Yeah, but that was in the old, right? So that was beat the African team, or beat the Asian team, and then lose to South American team, and then play whoever in the final, in the third, fourth final, and just win that one. So it was, still 2 good wins in that.
Yeah.
It was third of 2 wins as opposed to anything more. Yeah, you need a lot more wins for that.
Yeah. But the tournament's heating up. We will continue to pretend we care about it. Dazn, if you want to sponsor a podcast that'll cover the Club World Cup and talk about it lots, just send us a subscription. Is
in
it
the
DAZN? I've been calling it DAZN. Oh,
fine either or. I was going to say, on the website we've got the contact details, so hook us up.
yes. Hook us up. Hook us up. Like we'll be happy to do it with for just free subscriptions.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm also happy for them to pay us.
Technically, a subscription would be a write-off, to be fair.
And to be fair, they can pay us. It's fine. It doesn't need to just only be a subscription.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, okay, I totally did the negotiations wrong, right? So
Yeah.
it should be like we'll totally be willing to do this for 100K
Yeah.
each
Sounds
per
good.
season that you exist. Then we continue our partnership.
Yep, exactly. That is the right way of phrasing that.
From there, or Sky Sport, if you want to sponsor us, we're completely happy to be supporting our local broadcasters, in this crowded landscape and promoting them.
Exactly.
Look,
we
that's
won't
how-
even. If Sky Sport wants to sponsor us, we won't even re-look at past commentary we've made about
No.
them.
We'll delete previous podcasts.
I will personally, if they pay us $100,000 each, I will personally go back and re-edit those podcasts and remove those sections.
Yep. We just put we're not gonna do that much work. We'll just put a thing at the beginning saying these were our views then. We accept that we were wrong and we're deeply, deeply sorry.
Actually, good point. That's exactly what we'll do. That sounds a lot easier.
Yep.
That's good. I wait for the contracts to come through in the emails.
Absolutely. We're willing to also to promote both of you.
Oh yeah,
No favorites.
exactly. I'm sure we can manage it.
We can 100% manage it. They're both the greatest available sports broadcaster. Disney Plus too. We'll happily
Oh yeah.
promote your stuff.
Oh look, we'll take money from anyone.
Yeah. Any broadcasters. Gambling companies need not apply.
Yeah, fair call. They can donate though. We're not going to change our content for them.
We're not going to change our content. We'll gladly take their money, but we won't promote them either.
No.
By the way, the TAB are sponsoring us. This is us telling you don't bet money on the TAB. You won't win anything.
Exactly. It's specifically set up for you not to win money.
Yep. It's not the same as a finance company or an investment firm. They actually want you to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still a gamble,
Yeah.
obviously. But those guys, it's good for them if you make money.
It's probably worthwhile here. I know we plug at the beginning in our intro and outro, but just since we're plugging people for sponsorships and things, just
People who haven't paid us.
yeah. So people who haven't paid us, just reminding everyone that we do have Buy Me a Coffee.
We do have Buy Me a Coffee.
So if you do want to sponsor us or do want to throw us $1 or $2, you can do it there.
Heck, if the channel from South Park, ESPN Illegal, actually exists and they want us to do cock magic, which is basically roosters playing Magic the Gathering content, we'll also do that.
100% we'll cover that.
That is the line of animal cruelty that I'll go to. I will teach roosters to play Magic the Gathering.
That's pretty cruel, man.
But they like it.
Fair enough.
But that's the line.
There's the line. Yeah, that's a fair line to have.
Anyways, I think on that note, that's all we have time for today.
Yeah. Just reminding the viewers or the listeners that we'll be taking a little bit of a break and we'll be back sort of in July, beginning of August with the new Premier League season.
One other highlight before we go. Nigel Richards maybe the greatest sportsman ever born in New Zealand, who is basically Scrabble's GOAT player.
Yes.
Went on to refuse to learn French, but memorize the French dictionary and then win French
Yeah.
Scrabble like for 3 years running, and then to the point where when he was about to do Spanish, because there's two types of ways they do Scrabble in Europe, because obviously they have to be different. So the
Yeah.
French do their standard classic Scrabble, and then there's what they call like can't remember. It's just called format. So what they do is they draw letters, and everybody gets those same letters
Yeah.
up front, and then they have to make the maximum score. So it's technically possible to do a perfect score. He was already considered the favorite for that format because in
Yeah.
the French version, like it's been played since the 70s, and only one player had ever gotten a perfect score in tournaments, and he did it 4 times in a row.
Wow.
And 2 of the times he didn't do it, it was because he made like annotation errors when he handed in his like result.
Oh no.
So he didn't put a comma, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
and between like the coordinates and things like this. And they're really strict about that. Which, to be fair, makes sense in this format where it's
Yeah,
you have to hand in a written result. It has to be in a particular format. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he had a similar thing in the Spanish one because he should have won. He basically played 2 games which were 100% perfect. But one of the games where he only got like a 70% was because he made a mistake and did the coordinates the wrong way around
Oh no.
to one or two of his entries. So and he got one other game which was like 99% perfect. But he didn't win. He came second, but he won the classic Spanish Scrabble. And
Nice.
his goal, and then and this year, because that was his first year, 2024. This year he did win both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody's
Nice.
like, "What's his next?"
Yeah. What's next?
We're so greedy. We just want more championships, Nigel. We just want, we want more from you.
Win them all, man. Win them all the time.
Win the Klingon Scrabble.
He would, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. But those are the big three. Apparently, the only one left is German. There are a bunch of like German Scrabble content creators who are all like, please, 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 Mr. Richards, please join.
All right. Yeah.
And like some of the best Scrabble content creators are basically like half their channel is like, we show moves about Nigel. Also, the reason why we gas up Nigel so much is I've got a winning record against him. We've only played 6 times and I've won 4 times.
Oh yes, that's the right way to do that.
He's the GOAT, but I've got a winning record against him. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And we all know that Nigel is not pulling a Hans Newman and he's cheating because he is often better than the computer in terms of the results provided.
Right.
So when they run the computer for 5 to 10 minutes, his results are different and the computer disagrees. And then if you run it for longer, 2 or 3 hours later, the computer goes, nah, his move was better.
Right. Yeah.
So he's better than the computer, so how can he cheat?
Exactly.
Because obviously he thinks more moves ahead than the computer does. At this stage, the best Scrabble computers do. So,
Right, yeah.
that's obviously, we got to give a shout out to him.
Oh, 100%.
There's great YouTube videos about him and his performances. He's pretty much almost gives no interviews. He's says that he's not the super competitive guy either. He loves winning at Scrabble, but he just plays Scrabble for fun.
All right.
And
Yeah.
his real passion in life is cycling.
Yeah. Really.
It's not like Scrabble makes you super rich or anything like
Yeah.
Well, he's earned a decent amount of prize money throughout his career. He's, he's not exactly like a super rich guy either. And apparently his worst subject in school was English. So his mom introduced him to Scrabble because she couldn't beat him in board games at all. And so she went, let's play you at Scrabble because you'll suck at this. And, he promptly beat her.
and he did not.
How are you good at Catan? How good are you at Catan, though, Nigel? How good are you at
Yeah.
Catan?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real question.
That is a real question. I feel like the answer is going to be really good.
Really, really good, I'm sure. So snaps to him. Absolutely. And also, it would be remiss of us to not... We would thank everyone for listening.
Oh, yes.
Everyone who's contributed on Buy Me a Coffee. And everybody who's, like, told us our stuff sucks or our stuff is good. Both motivate us, but,
Yeah.
to do more.
Yes, as in the show notes go over things, so you got the links to the Facebook page, to the Discord, so you can pop in and tell us what you want to tell us. We'll vaguely listen.
And all the members on the Discord who do listen, I know, and do regularly participate in all our Discord-wide events like fantasy, football, NFL, all that stuff.
Good point. Don't know if I have it there. See if before we go, if I can, we should see if there's results for the leagues. Talking of fantasy, so for the Standard League, Fantasy Premier League, Stack of Potatoes, Casey Andrews takes that out this year over Drewtastic.
Stacker Potatoes.
Yeah, Stacker. So yep, Casey beats older brother Ricky, quite comprehensively in the end, 12 points. With Edster's dream team, Eddie van der Poel, bringing in third.
Nice.
Won't mention that at the bottom of the pile is myself, and that you have, at least in the race for the league, have won that. You lightly ahead of me there.
As long as I finish above you and Mr. Average, this is like supporting Manchester United. As long as we beat City and Liverpool, that's all I have to be happy.
All you care about, fair enough. That said, I have beaten you once, you've beaten me once, you've beaten me twice, and you win the head-to-head battle 2-1 in the Standard League. So good work there. If we head over to the draft league, once again, Stack of Potatoes, Casey has taken that out, also very convincingly on 96 points, beating Habits Your Way, elder brother Ricky, who was on 73 points. In this one, I claim bragging rights over you, having finished 7 out of 8, and you finishing 8 out of 8.
Nice.
And if I can see if I can find our head-to-head here. I've won 1, you've won 1, I've won 2, 2-2, 3-2 to you. And head-to-heads. Your first 2 wins being very comprehensive.
My strategy of only picking strikers is great.
Yeah. 3-2 head-to-head in draft, 2-1 head-to-head for you in it. Yes, no, congratulations to Casey, winning in both leagues, with Ricky second place.
Yep. I'm trying to see if I can find the results for our NFL league.
I did know that.
Don't want to renew quite yet. I don't want to spam everybody's inbox.
I think in that one, I'd made top 4 and then definitely failed from there on out.
Yeah. Where can we check our... I'll just send everybody a renewal. Then it'll let me go check. League, yep. NineSixFourTwo NFL Draft League. Can it let me check previous season? It does not.
No, I think we've run into this problem before. Oh no, it does somewhere. How does it?
Heck.
Yeah. No, yeah. No. I have it here, 2024 season standings. So I have to find the knockout playoffs. But in regular, Alma's team 11th. Yeah, Alma's team was top, then Jack's team, then Musket, then myself. Feelings, yourself with the Hobsonville Niners, John's team, Crackham, Denzel, and the Eagles win at the bottom. Would have to look for the playoff. Go. That's this year's matchup.
But you made the playoffs, I think, for the first time in that league.
I made the playoffs last year. I think I even made the final. Yeah. My playoff. I lost quite badly in the playoff against Musket. But my playoff form is not very good.
Yeah, like the Chargers.
So yeah, I got in the playoffs. Yeah. Oh no, here. Now it's. So yeah, I won in the first week of playoffs. I won. You lost it. Lost after that. Lost to Alma's team. Then lost to Musket in the last week. Who had the previous week been quite. Yeah, both me and Musket got quite thrashed in the semi-final week by Jack and Alma.
Yeah, and it was a husband and wife final.
Yeah, husband and wife final. With Alma taking bragging rights there, once again, very comprehensively.
Oh, yeah. Well, they are very competitive in that household when it comes to fantasy. They're in like 7 or 8 different fantasy leagues with each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not a bad result in the end when you're playing against such good players. Yeah, thanks everyone on all the fantasy leagues and everyone who's participated in the Discord, shared memes, and generally contributed to. But yeah, everybody else, look forward to seeing you next season. Thanks very much for listening. We promise we're doing a Lord of the Rings ending it multiple times, but this is the ending.
This is the ending.
And thanks for the fish.
Definitely. So long, and thanks for all of it.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. NineSixFourTwo Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee. I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.